Hey, it's Ask the Tax Lien Lady live. This is the Tax Lien Lady. Hello, everybody. It's Joanne Musa, and I'm a little late today because I had some technical difficulties. Actually, that was my laptop. I just put down on the floor because I'm doing this on my Microsoft Pad, yeah, I think it's a Microsoft Pad, because I couldn't get on my computer. I don't know what happened, but it wouldn't find my microphone. And then when I tried to put my microphone on, my video went off. My camera went off. But I'm here. I'm here to answer your questions about investing in tax liens and tax deeds. And joining me is my assistant, Nicole. And Nicole, I don't know if you have any questions for me that we got ahead of time from any of the groups. Our tax lien investing success group, which, by the way, guys, is a free private group. We have over 1,000 members in that group, and you can join. You can ask questions in there. You can get answers from me. And Nicole is telling me that she has some questions. So I'm ready to answer them. And when you come on, just tell me what state you're in. Say hello so that I know somebody's watching, and let me know what state you're in. And the reason is because investing is different in every state. So I really can't answer your question if I don't know what state you're asking about. All right. So, Nicole, what questions do we have? What questions do we have ahead of time? And for those people that are not on Facebook, because I know not everybody is, right? We also put the replays of these lives on our YouTube channel. And if you go to youtube.com/tax lien lady, that is our YouTube channel. And you can also see these replays there. Okay. So all right. Hi, Janet. Thank you for saying hello. And you're from Florida, interested in New Jersey as well. All the Florida tax liens sales happen in May. So tell me, Janet, are you interested in, since you're interested in New Jersey, I'm guessing that you're interested in tax lien sales, not tax deed sales. Tax deed sales happen all the time in Florida, but New Jersey really only has tax liens. Every once in a blue moon, one of the municipalities will have a deed sale, but it's mostly liens. Okay, so what the heck is happening in New Jersey about the foreclosures? That is a really good question, Janet. And I'll tell you, there is legislation that is that is coming down the pike in New Jersey that is going to change the way foreclosures are done. It's not going to change the tax sales at all. They're going to happen just like they happen now. But after the redemption period is over, after the 2 years redemption period, when the investor does get to foreclose, the investor will still have to foreclose the right to redeem, but the property, what happens next depends on which legislation gets passed. Okay. So either the owner of the property will elect, if they have equity in the property, that the property will go into foreclosure sale instead of the investor just getting the deed. It will be a little bit similar to Florida. You know, in Florida, after the 2-year redemption period, you have to do a tax deed application. You don't just get the property. The property has to go into a deed sale. So something similar to that is what is going to happen in New Jersey. But whether everything will just go to a foreclosure sale. Now, if it's a non-occupied property, if it's a vacant property or land, it doesn't have to go to a foreclosure sale. But if it's a house that somebody lives in, it will most likely go to a foreclosure sale. The difference is, what is being determined by this legislation is whether or not the owner of the property will have to elect for it to go into a foreclosure sale, or whether it will just automatically go into a foreclosure sale. So foreclosures will still happen in New Jersey, but the lien holder automatically getting the deed after the foreclosure will not happen for occupied properties. Okay, that's most likely a given. And I am not an attorney. I am not a tax lien attorney. So this is what I know from what I've been told from attorneys. So you're getting it secondhand, not firsthand. Okay, I just want to make that clear. There is stuff coming down the pike. So right now, what's happening in New Jersey right now is each county. It's up to each county, and some county attorneys are not doing anything, and they're waiting for this to happen. So for some it's on hold. Some are going through. Some foreclosures are going through, and some are on hold until this legislation, until these laws get passed. Um, there are two competing laws that I think one is in the House and one is in the Senate, and one of them will get through. I'm not sure which one right now. Okay. And do I have any estimates of when it will be acted on? No, I do not. I do not. Like I said, I'm getting this secondhand from attorneys in New Jersey, actually from the National Tax Lien Association conference that I was just at a couple of weeks ago. Okay. All right. And then we have a question from Transcendence Investments LLC. I bought a tax lien and had to close that bank account. What do I need to do to get my funds lent back? I don't understand that question. If you bought a tax lien and had to close that bank account, what do I need to do to get my funds lent back? I'm guessing, I'm just going to guess here that whoever put in that question bought a tax lien in an online sale, and they put their deposit in, they put their money in, and maybe they're waiting for money to come back and it can't go back into that account. You would have to call and I need to know what state that is. So, Nicole, you'll have to reach out to Transcendent Investments LLC and ask them. They need to be more specific, and I need to know what state, and if it's an online sale, what platform they used. Okay, you asked for clarification already, but haven't heard anything back. All right. All right, let's move on to the next question then. All right. And Janet, thank you for joining us live today. It's great to have you. Again, the Florida tax lien sales happen in May. They're coming up soon. New Jersey happens all the time. And being that you're in Florida, I'm guessing that you're interested in the online sales in New Jersey. I would go ahead and invest because whatever is going on now with the foreclosures is going to be decided by the time any liens that you buy now, by the time the redemption period is over. And if you want to be on the safe side, you could focus on vacant land, and then you won't have to worry about it. Okay. And all right. So any other questions, Nicole? Do we have any other questions? And for those of you that want to join the Facebook group, it is at facebook.com/groups/tax lien investing success. And Nicole can put that link in for you into the comments. All right. So Luz from the group asks if I can give tips on how to avoid losing money. Lots of tips. Lots of tips. That's like a loaded question. That's a loaded question on how to avoid losing money. I kind of need a specific, something more specific than that. Like, in what state are you? I need to know what state in particular. I could do a whole hour. I could do a whole hour and a half session on that. And as a matter of fact, we do that in our due diligence classes that we do. We do that in our coaching sessions that we do. And members of the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator get one coaching session a month with me as well. So if you want to find out more about membership to the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator, just go to taxlienlady.com/membership and you could find out more about that. That's not a question I can answer quickly in one of these live streams, okay? Unless I need more specific questions, guys. Not general questions that will take me a whole day to answer. All right. Not open-ended questions like here's one that how do you get started? You know? I need more specific questions than that. All right. All right. Janet says in New Jersey, the issue is that the surplus funds windfall to investors is not redeemed, is now being considered unfair to the homeowner, not just in New Jersey, but many other states. That being said, what's the process for tax deed in Florida? Okay. So Florida doesn't have that problem, right? And here's the reason why. In Florida, after 2 years, the tax lien holder has to do a TDA, a tax deed application. Now, when they do that tax deed application, the lien goes into a deed sale. It gets sold in a deed sale, and the overage from that deed sale goes back to the owner or lien holders in the property. So, in other words, if there's a mortgage holder that can apply for the overage, there's because these people, if that gets sold in a deed sale, the owner of the property doesn't get anything, right? And or the mortgage holder doesn't get anything if it's sold in a deed sale. They're kind of left high and dry. So they have the ability to apply for that overage. And if there are no other, mortgages or deed or liens on the property, then the owner gets the overage. That's what happens in states like Florida, where it goes into a foreclosure sale. Now, other states like New Jersey, it doesn't go into a foreclosure sale. The owner of the lien just forecloses and gets the property. So there's no overage that goes to the owner. The owner loses the equity in the property. That's which should not happen, really. The owner of the property should get compensated. They shouldn't lose their equity in the property. Okay. So that's what's going on in these states. They're making it more fair to the owner of the property. So if they lose their property in a foreclosure sale, they can apply for that overage. They get the overage. Okay, so that's what's happening. So the states that are affected by this, states like Colorado are affected by. They have legislation that's supposed to be going through July 1st in Colorado that's going to change things. Arizona is affected by this. Arizona has legislation that is going through as well. So these are the states that are affected by this. They're still going to have tax sales. There are still going to be foreclosures, but now there will be an overage that goes to the property owner, or if there was a mortgage holder or lien holders that lose their equity in the property, they would be able to get that money. Okay. So, Janet, yeah, thank you for that question. And the deed process in Florida, how that works is the lien holder does the TDA with the county, and you just pay a fee to the county, and it goes into, and you have to pay any outstanding liens. So if there's subsequent lien to yours, if there's prior liens to yours, any current taxes, you got to pay it all. But all that you start earning 18% on until that property is sold in the sale. Now, if the property is not sold in the deed sale, then you get the property. Okay, so that's how that works. Real quickly. That's how that works. So I hope that helps, Janet. All right, and so we got a question from Julie in the group asks, I am interested in online auctions and OTC lien certificates. I know how to buy OTC in Florida, but I am curious about the rules in other states. And here's the thing, Julie, not all states do it. In New Jersey, they don't do it. All right. It's an act of God to get anything OTC. So not all the municipalities do it in New Jersey. And in others, it's not something I recommend because it's really difficult to do. It's not something I personally do. It's not something that the fund does. that I invest for. But what we do is the cleanup sales, because in some states that have the online tax lien sales, right after the sale is over, they have another sale. In Arizona, I believe they call it the cleanup sale. And and I know I'm seeing that I'm frozen right here, so I'm hoping you guys are still seeing me and that the video is going to be all right, but my video is frozen right now on my screen. Um uh but anyway, um what what was I saying? I kind of lost track of the but I was talking about the OTC liens. So in Arizona, what they do is they have a cleanup sale, and it's first come, first serve. So as soon as the first sale is over, it goes into another sale where it's first come, first serve. And unless you're there right when they make that available, all the good stuff is gone right away. And so the only stuff that's left is junk. So the OTC stuff in states like that is really junk. And if you go there like a couple months off the sale, there's nothing good left. Believe me, I know I've done this. Okay. In a couple of different states, in a deed state, in Pennsylvania, and in Arizona, a lien state. Okay. And I've looked into it in New Jersey. So it's not a process that works well in all states. So I would stick to what you do in Florida if you know how to do it in Florida. And here's the way to do it in the other states. You have to be there at the sale. Do your due diligence on the properties, know what gets left over, and bid on it right away in that cleanup sale and get it right away. Um, okay, so that's what I would suggest on that. Okay. So we've got a couple more. We've got another question from Janet. Please discuss the impact of possible environmental pollution on the affected land. How to avoid polluted land. What if you end up with polluted land? Um, well, I use tax sale resources to find out about the properties, to find out if there is an environmental problem. It's not always going to show you, but if there is a known environmental problem, we know that before we bid. So we avoid any properties that have known environmental problems. Now, if you don't have access to something like tax sale resources, every state has an environmental website that lists known problems like environmental super sites. They list the known problems. So you can go to your state's environmental site and get that list and just look up your property, make sure it is that you're going to bid on, look up any properties that you're going to bid on and make sure they are not on that list. Okay. All right, so as you join today, just let me, I don't know what happened to my video. I'm frozen here on my screen, but I don't know what's going on over there on Facebook. I am doing this on StreamYard and it gets streamed into Facebook, so I can't see what's happening on Facebook. And so I don't know what's going to happen because the video is on Facebook. It's not here on StreamYard. Hey, Samantha, welcome. For the Lake County, Indiana Commissioner sales, April 8th, where do you find the minimum bids? I don't see anything on the Excel downloads. Also, they have a list of never sold parcels too. Is this the redemption period also 4 months on those parcels? It might be sooner on those parcels because here's what happens. First of all, let me ask you this, Samantha. Are you already registered? Because you had to register way in advance for the Lake County, Indiana sale. So are you already registered? Because if you're not, it's too late. Okay. So let me know, are you already registered for that sale? And the minimum bids, there is a minimum bid, and I'm not sure what it is this year. Last year, I think it was $500. I'm not sure what it is this year. But the never sold properties that are from before, so first they sell the properties that didn't sell this year, like last fall. First they sell those. Those have a 4-month redemption period. Then they sell the properties that have been sitting there and have never sold. Okay. I'm not sure if it's still a 4-month redemption period. It may be, or it you may not even have they may not even have a redemption period. So that you could check with the, county treasurer, or whoever is doing the sale. That sale is taking place on a site called Onyx Electronics. So, you can register, I believe you can register on Zeus Auction, but you have to already be registered. Registration ended, um, the beginning of I I don't know if it was in, I think it ended in February at some time. February or the beginning of March, it ended already. And the sale doesn't, go on until April 8th on Onyx Electronics. Okay, so Samantha, does that answer your question? And are you registered for the sale already? Okay, and we've got another question that we got ahead of time from Rajesh. How can I use my IRA funds to invest in tax liens? Okay, and that depends on where you're investing, what state you're investing in, and whether or not you're investing online. And here's the thing with investing in tax liens, you need to have the money at the sale. You can't wait for the money. So what makes it you really need to have in order you need 2 things from your IRA account. You need to have an IRA account that allows checkbook control. So that's the first thing. You need to have checkbook control because you need a bank account, especially if you're doing the online auctions. You need to do deposits with an ACH debit, and then the rest is usually by money wire or ACH. In any case, you need to have your own bank account, your own checking account. So you need checkbook control inside your IRA. The next thing that you're going to need, actually, the first thing that you're going to need is your IRA account has to have its own EIN number. Okay. You cannot use your custodian's EIN number. And that is because, everybody else, or not everybody else, but a lot of people might have the same custodian you do. And if you use the custodian's EIN number, there might be a lot of people with the same EIN number. You need a unique EIN number for your IRA account. And you could get that, by the way, at irs.gov. That's easy to get. All right. The tough part is having checkbook control. You need to have an IRA account where you are allowed to have checkbook control of your account. Okay. All right, so Samantha, you're registered on Zeus Auctions, set up on Onyx Electronics. Very good, but not seeing the minimum bids. I thought they always start at 500, but Tax Sale Resources has some at 40 to 50K starting bids. So a little confused. Yeah, that is confusing. I would check with Lake County. I would check with Lake County about that. And the 40 to 50K, the stuff that's 40 to 50K, is that the new stuff or is that old stuff? Because that could be old stuff that's been sitting there for a while. In that case, I would stay away from that. Um, and I would verify that with what Onyx Electronics has. Yeah, probably old stuff. I would stay away from the old stuff. I would just go after the new stuff. The old stuff has not been sold for a reason. It's like, you see, they don't do OTC in Lake County. They just keep selling it until it sells. Well, sometimes stuff never sells because it's not any good, right? All right, and you're welcome, Samantha. Okay. Any other questions? That's all the questions we had that were given ahead of time. So, so if you guys that are on live have any other questions, Janet, Samantha, this is last call for your questions. All right. Now, I also want to let you know that I'm going to try to be here next week, but I have to go to Chicago next week, and I will be leaving next Tuesday to go to Chicago. Um, I'm still going to try to do this at 2 p.m. I have to leave here at 3 p.m. to go to the airport. So I am going to try to do this again next week. And, if anything changes, we'll let you know in the Facebook group. Not in the Facebook group, I'm sorry, but on the Facebook page where we do this. Okay. And in the group, in a couple of days on Thursday at 12 o'clock, I do a tax lien investing tip. And we did get a question today about tips on how not to lose money on tax liens. So I will think of a tip that is related to that question, and I will give you that tip inside the group on Thursday at 12 o'clock on Thursday. Oh, your computer froze, and, the replay will be on here as soon as we're done. So you'll be able to see the replay. But, I'm not sure if the never sold parcels, if it's 4 months or if it's less than 4 months. That is something that you need to check with the treasurer, with the county treasurer, and find out. Okay. I'm not certain about that. And I'm not certain about that because that's something that I normally do not pay attention to. I don't want the old stuff because, like I said, it's there for a reason. It didn't sell for a reason. Because here's the thing, what they do on those, like even the new stuff, they'll sell all the new stuff and then they'll have a break. And then anybody that wanted something and didn't get it can come back and ask for it. So, for instance, I'll give you an example. Let's say there's a parcel that you wanted, but you didn't bid on it, and the sale of the new items is over. Okay, but they didn't start the old items yet. Well, sometimes they take a break, and when you come back from that break, or they'll ask even before they take the break, they'll ask, "Does anybody want anything that didn't sell?" And you could tell them what the parcel was, and they'll bid it right there. So you have a chance to bid on it. Okay. So my point is that anything that's left over is probably not worth bidding on. Anything that's remember, this is the second sale. This is the commissioner's sale. It already didn't get sold in the first sale. This is the commissioner's sale. If it doesn't get sold in the commissioner's sale, there's something wrong with that property. Okay. There's something wrong with that property. Now, if you have a niche, like you have a niche for maybe sized properties or properties with a particular problem that you know how to solve, then maybe you want to look through those properties for those type of properties. But otherwise, it's not what I would recommend. I don't recommend, any of the old stuff. It's not I usually only would go after the new stuff and would not I don't even stay for the rest of the auction. Once the new stuff is done, I don't stay. I was at Lake when it was live, not when it was online, and once they were done with the new stuff, that's it. I'm gone, and now I want to pay for the ones that I got. All right. So, Samantha, I hope that answers your questions. about that. And Janet, I hope I answered your questions. So last call for any other questions before I say goodbye. And, God willing, I will be back next week at 2 p.m. to answer your questions about investing in tax liens and tax deeds. Okay. And you're very welcome. All right. And thank you, Nicole, for your support today. Bye, everybody.